The media tries to do what they can, I think.
They try, but
it's difficult. It's very difficult. There's no freedom of speech.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Current news event. We'll go to the canal. It was presumably a deal between, obviously, the president of Nicaragua and this gentleman from China. Mm-hmm. And so now, it's going nowhere. You know, they talk about it. There's always a lot of talk, a lot of discussion. What are we gonna do? You know, when we're gonna do this right now? Yes, the guys, the Chinese guy is defending himself, saying, "Oh yes, I have all this resources," but it's you just don't see it. You know, you don't see the press or the TVs going like they did for the Bay Bridge here. Bay Bridge was on the news all day, all night. Bay Bridge until it came out of your ears. A canal is something that would be huge news, worldwide news.
Nobody talks about it.
And nobody talks about it. Nobody knew. I was like, was there? And talking to people, and because I do a lot of talking through Facebook. All of a sudden they were like talking about the canal. I'm like, what canal? Now they see how valuable of a tool Facebook is. It would be a jump off point. How it impacts anyone? Well, obviously people are becoming more knowledgeable of what's happening or what's going to happen. Because now you hear where while the news in Nicaragua may be stifled somewhat by the government, well, if someone in another country is involved in whatever in Nicaragua, they would go ahead and say, just let out a press release in their country, and they'll share it, and then people have the opportunity to read it. What that does to journalists in Nicaragua, on one hand, they're kind of like their hands are tied. They're like, oh wow, that's great. And then people are now, instead of like here, this is the only similarities that I could possibly see. Is like here, the newspaper is dying. The newspaper business is dying. That's what eventually is going to happen there. And a lot of people are either going to get their news off the internet or off TV. And maybe not so much on TV because of the government interaction with trying to impede the information that the press is trying to come across or